Ladies and gentlemen, I have not done a Weight Watchers in a very long time. And because I have such a base model Chevy Silverado dually, I feel like this is the perfect truck to kind of start doing some videos really quickly on a big fifth wheel. So if you are in the market, this should be a good video, so let's go ahead and jump into it. Now, this is not the exact trailer I'm going to show you guys the number for. It's going to be a 380 FL, but I wanted to show you guys it's a truck with the Solitude because the silver looks really good with the color scheme on this trailer. Check that out, looks really good. I wish I could tow with this truck, man. It would be so awesome, but unfortunately it's a brand new truck. So yeah, as you guys can see here, I have the fifth wheel pin box, like pretty much where you would see the hitch at, basically. And as you guys know, GM does provide all the things you need inside of here if you get the fifth wheel and gooseneck prep package. Okay, it's gonna be a 4-pin and a 7-pin connector. If you do have cameras, you can get the cameras down below here. Okay, right? It basically go in place of that 4-pin connector. And if you like, you can get a camera view up top here. But I will say, for the most part, because this is a long bed, it would be a lot easier to hook this up because you have a little bit more line of sight when you're looking out the back window here. And one thing I do like about the Chevys is they give you these steps. So if you want to reach over to lock in your fifth wheel, you can do so, or lock in your gooseneck, I should say. Really pretty easy to do. Now, as far as the towing features go in this truck, you don't have much when you get a base model truck. So for the most part, all you have is the exhaust brake. I'm gonna go ahead and start it up. You have the exhaust brake. They do provide the trailer brake. And your tow haul mode would be on this side. And you can see the icon pop up at the bottom there. And as far as technology goes, you do have a trailer light check. So they do give that to you. And that's pretty much it. So let's go ahead and take a look at the fifth wheel. All right, so the RV dealer today, Beckley, special shout out. They are busy today, so we're gonna do this pretty quickly. So as you guys saw, this is a FL, which stands for front living, and a front living it is. So this does have that front glass, and they have the TV that does pop up too. So that's really nice. But if you don't want this out, sometimes people just want to read a book and enjoy the views. The good news is that does go away. You do have a large fireplace down below. And just check out the area space you have. You do have 2 slides on each side. They are a Schwintek slide. So I think every slide on here is either rack and pinion or Schwintek, which is top notch. But because this is a wide body, you just have a lot of area space to hang out, entertain. You can put maybe 3 people here, 3 people here, and then 2 there. So you can really, spread out and do some great entertainment in here. Now, if you walk down the stairs, you do have a central vacuum cleaner here. Just pop this up. And tons of countertop space. If my wife was here, she'd tell you that this is one thing that she loves about these bigger RVs is they give you tons of space to put a lot of cooking appliances, coffee, appliances, whatever. And you do have solid countertops. And this one does have a divider. I hate dividers. However, the divider does not come up that much, as you can see. That's a really cool design, and it's really useful to have it that way. You do have nice fixtures too. And this is a residential style cooktop gas burner and a decent size oven down below. This one does have a pantry, very large with some drawers. And I don't see a light inside of here, but you really don't need it. You do have a residential size microwave, and this is a gas and electric refrigerator. I'll be honest, if there is a residential one, that's probably the only thing I would probably upgrade. However, I did just buy a fan for these fins back here, which moves air, and it has worked flawlessly. So I haven't had any issues with my refrigerator after installing that. Now, finishing off the kitchen, you do have a dinette with chairs, and you notice down below there is no center leg, so you don't have to worry about bumping your legs. And it does have a lip that pops out too. They do have a bathroom. I always recommend to people. I've never had 2 bathrooms, but from what I've heard from other people, they normally just go pee here, and they do number 2 in the main bathroom, just to kind of, you know, save time, you know, dumping and flushing, all that good stuff. And I believe that if this slide comes in, you could still use this bathroom. However, if this slide comes in, you won't be able to get to the bathroom in the rear, which is why they put this bathroom here for you. Now, walking up, you do have some storage here. It's kind of be like a cloak closet for your guests in a sense. And yeah, this is the way to go here. This is definitely the way to go. Really nice setup. They have pocket doors. I mean, really farm doors, farm style doors. I don't think these are pocket, but this is probably the crown jewel to having an empty nest, is you get to have bathrooms like this. Like, this is amazing. I mean, this is where you come in and you just really enjoy RVing life. Of course, you can put a washer and dryer hookup in here. You probably can even do a residential size if you want. And you do have a rod up top to hang some stuff. And the cabinetry inside of this RV looks great. The handles, all the hardware, as I mentioned, everything looks good. They give you 2 sinks, large vanity, and more places up here to put things. I mean, you can really, really enjoy RVing full time in something like this. And even where the toilet's positioned, you can really just spread out. Because sometimes when you get into RV bathrooms, you just don't have that space that you need. Despite all the storage outside, they still give you areas below the bed. When you see the numbers, that's probably the only thing that's concerning, is this does not have a high cargo carrying capacity. So, you know, you just have to be careful with all the stuff you bring. You can't bring heavy things with you. So let's go ahead and go outside. I'm going to show you some of the storage, and then I'll show you guys some numbers too. So outside, you do have a really tall basement door, and that's because of this drop frame. And as you can see, you do have your auto leveling system on that door, which is in a good position for line of sight to your hitch. They do provide lights inside of this area, power plugs, and then your central vac is right here. So you don't have to worry too much about your pin weight, because the rear storage area is probably going to keep you from really exceeding what the number you see there, unless you put a generator up front, or, you know, a lot of heavy stuff up where the front living is. That's the only thing I'll say. But out back there, it does have a tray, so again, you can really take a lot of weight off of the front of this trailer and put it back here. Love that they put your tank valves back here. This will make life so much easier, because you don't have to worry about corrosion, you don't have to worry about climbing under a slide like I do, although there is one down there, but for the most part, the majority of them are back here. Before I show you guys the numbers, I want to show you some of the other features that will benefit you when you are looking at towing. Now, this trailer does have a 12-inch I-beam, and it does have a 10-inch drop frame down below. And they are using a really nice tire. This is a Cooper Work. It's going to be a 16-ply load range H. And the size is going to be a 215, 75, 17 and a half. And then your capacities are huge. So just single is 4,605 pounds. And it is going to be 125 PSI cold. So this is a really, really nice tire. I mean, look at the ribs on the tire. And this does have the 6-point auto leveling. It is going to be hydraulic. And I don't know if I mentioned, but this does have the MORryde suspension Creed 3000, so just keep that in mind too. And yeah, I mean, this does have MORryde pin box too, so that's going to also help, you know, with, you know, comfort going down the road. And it's ready for 18,000 pounds. So one thing you have to keep in mind when you are looking at numbers online is none of your propane tanks are going to be filled. Last thing to keep in mind is typically manufacturers don't add batteries, so this is going to add additional weight to your truck, so just keep that in mind, okay? This does have a pretty low cargo carrying capacity at 1,902 pounds, but this has a lot of amenities in it, so you have to keep that in mind. The GVWR is going to be 16,800 pounds. It does have two 7,000 pound axles. So overall, I mean, the trailer's unloaded weight is 14,838. So when you add a bunch of options to this trailer, it's going to really affect what you can take with you camping. So just keep that in mind. Now I'm going to go ahead and show you guys numbers for the truck. Alrighty, so these are going to be the numbers we're going to take a look at. So your gross vehicle weight rating is going to be 14,000 pounds. Your gross combined weight rating is going to be 40,000. That's going to be truck and trailer. The rear gross axle weight rating is at 10.5, and your curb weight, which is the truck on the curb, is 8,574 pounds. And max payload is going to be 5,426 pounds. Now, before I show you guys the spreadsheet, I wanted to show you the floor plan one last time. Be sure to pause if you want to see more. Now, as you guys can see online, they do provide the numbers as you would expect. The unloaded vehicle weight is actually higher online. This never happens than what you just saw in stock. And it could be because typically people who buy the Solitude, they do put a lot of options on them, and that one was missing a few things like the generator, as you saw. Now, I'm going to scroll down here so you guys can see this. So based on average weight of the standard build, so when you see the one next to the unloaded vehicle weight and the hitch weight, they do average out the weights of what's coming out of the factory. If you divide this 3,052 pounds into this number, that's going to give you 20.5%, and that's going to be how much pin weight this trailer has basically. So as far as the length goes, it's over 41 foot, and the height is over 13 foot. And then here's some of the capacity for the holding tanks, and here's just a little bit more information for you. Be sure to pause if you want to see more. So here are the numbers for the spreadsheet. So we're going to start here on the left hand side. These are the numbers you just saw for the Chevy Silverado dually. As far as the towing capacity goes, this is going to just be for fifth wheel gooseneck, so just keep that in mind. Now, as far as the estimated passengers and cargo, let me just kind of break this down for a second. Because this is a couple's trailer, in my opinion, I figure a husband's 200 pounds, wife's 135, and they have an 80-pound dog. As far as the cargo goes, if you figure your hitch and anything else, since this is a 8-foot bed, I assume you're going to carry more things inside the bed. So I figure this is a good number for that. So that's 1,015 pounds. So if you figure your payload's this is what you're going to have left over. On the right hand side, these are going to be numbers for the Grand Design. So this was the unloaded vehicle weight, and this is the GVWR. On the website, you saw that the hitch weight was 3,052 pounds. As I always say in my videos, you always have to figure you want a little bit more extra capacity, because you just never know what you're going to bring extra. You might bring your grandkids, or you might bring some friends along on your trip, and so you might need to have a little bit extra capacity for those additional people that be riding with you. With that being said, we're going to add 1,500 pounds here. So that number's going to basically be 16,338 pounds, which is obviously going to change your hitch weight. Now I'm going to use 21.5. I'm adding 1% to the number they gave just to give you some room. Obviously, I think because a lot of the storage is in the back, this RV did not have the generator already built in, so that's going to really affect the front pin weight too. So this number is going to become 3,513 pounds. So all in all, you still have a lot of capacity, but you have to understand something. If you want to carry a bigger toolbox, or if you want to carry additional 50 gallons of fuel with you, that's going to really affect you in terms of your payload. But with this truck, you'll still be fine. Now, if you're looking at a single rear wheel, again, you may have to forego those types of features because you're going to really run out of payload really quickly. Now, obviously, you can go with a different pin box, or you could go with a gooseneck like from Gen Y or the Reese Goose box, which will, of course, save you a little bit on your cargo. But I always recommend still leaving yourself a little bit of room. Now, something that I normally do when I'm looking at purchasing an RV, because there have been a couple times when I was thinking about buying one, but I always take the GVWR
and whatever the online pin weight percentage is, I'll typically add 1 to 3% to that, especially if you have a lot of storage up front. But in this case, this one had a lot of storage out back, so I just added 1%. But I take 16,800 pounds, and then I would multiply that by 20, basically 21.5%, which is what I did here. And that's going to give you 3,612 pounds. So again, I don't think you'll ever really get there, but it's always just a good idea just to have, you know, the best case scenario. When you're looking at these types of fifth wheels though, guys, you really have to consider a dually. I mean, me personally, I'm not ready for a dually quite yet, but in some time in the future, I'm sure if I do upgrade to a bigger trailer, I will have to consider one. But again, I hope this was helpful. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe, turn on those bell notifications, and be sure to like this video, and I'll see you guys soon.